What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 2024 LAG Awards. It's our annual end of the year award show where we look back on the past year, talk about world events that happened, personal events that happened, and events that happened here on the podcast. In addition, we will be awarding the best of the best in several categories: clip of the year, costume of the year, episode of the year, and guest of the year, plus many more. So stick around, we're sure to have a great time. But of course, it wouldn't be a traditional Life's a Garden episode if we didn't kick it off with a positive, motivational message. We're coming into the new year. This is the time of change. You know, everybody wants to have a New Year's resolution. Everybody wants to try to be better, to do better than they were the previous year. And nobody wants that for themselves more than me. And I want that for you as well. So our positive motivational message is: look in the mirror. Decide the things that you love about yourselves and the things that you might feel like need to change. Focus on those things this upcoming year. The things that you love about yourself, expand that. Push forward with that. Do those things and make those things even bigger than they were this previous year. And the things that you want to change, look to do so. If it's physical, mental, emotional, if you want to change career paths, anything. Any changes that you look to make this upcoming year, I strongly hope that you pursue those and try to better yourself in every way possible. And as I said, don't just look at the bad. Look at the positive. Look at the good. And keep pushing forward with that. Do more of it. Make yourself bigger and better in those positive areas that you enjoy. And with that, I think we can go on ahead and get in to the 2024 LAG Awards. Cheers to 2024. A very interesting year, to say the least. But another year in the books. We look forward to 2025 now. Yeah, let's get into it, guys. First, let me go ahead and... Ooh, got a little spillage action up in here. 2024. Wow. You know, it's funny, every single year, and especially when you get older, it feels like the year just flies by. But then you look back and you start recounting a lot of the events of the year. And you realize, holy cow, a lot happened this year. You're like, damn, that feels like forever ago. Even though when you think back to like last Christmas or last New Year's, it feels like it just happened. By the way, hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas. It was, for me, felt like the longest day of my life. Woke up bright and early, cooked breakfast, everybody came over, we did the presents, went and ran around, did a bunch of gift exchanges. Dude, okay, I watched The Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Of course, the Jim Carrey version, if you even had to ask. 3 times in 24 hours. I watched it the night before, woke up, I only watched about half of it, I fell asleep. So I've decided, well, let me go ahead and finish it. So I started it all over, watched it again. As I was cooking, I was kind of just listening to it. And then everybody shows up and they're like, what, you watched this without us? And then they started it over again. So 3 times in probably actually 16 hours. Even less than that, probably 12 hours. Yeah, that's crazy. Still a great movie. And then, yeah, ran around, did a bunch of gift exchange. Went to my sister's house for dinner. And then went to the bar. Because why not? It was a very Merry Christmas. Again, hope everybody out there enjoyed their Christmas. Hope you spent some quality time with your friends and your family. And I hope it was just a really great week for you all. Anyway, back to the year. Yeah, it's like, you look at all the events throughout the year, and you're just like, wow, that all happened this year. And I start thinking back to things that happened in February. And you're just like, well, that does feel like a long time ago. Which is nice. It means, you're staying busy. It means you got a lot of stuff going on. So you're filling your time with moments and memories, which is a good thing. Let's look back. Let's see what happened. What happened in the year 2024? Well, we had a pretty major election. We'll go ahead and just start off with that because that was definitely the biggest thing of the year. What a roller coaster that was. We started the year with Joe Biden being the candidate. He was the incumbent. Trump wins the nomination from the Republican Party. They have the debate. It goes terribly for Biden. They essentially oust him. The Democratic Party commits a coup, essentially, and makes it so he's not going to run. They install Kamala Harris as the candidate. Trump has an assassination attempt against him. And then almost a second one on top of that. They debate. She looks like she did pretty good in that debate. All the polls have her winning. And Trump wins in an absolute landslide. Like I said, what a roller coaster of events. Just in the election portion alone. Yeah, wins in the landslide, wins all the swing states, gets the popular vote and the electoral vote. Wow. So that was probably the biggest thing that happened all year. Of course, we had the Olympics. That was a big one. We had other sports events. The Chiefs won again. Chiefs win another Super Bowl. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Dodgers won the World Series. Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup. I think that was their first time ever, yes? Am I correct? And the Boston Celtics won the NBA Finals. Those were our championships of the year. Again, we had the Caitlin Clark sensation this year. That all was a big thing that happened. And let's be honest, the rise of the WNBA. Nobody ever talked about the WNBA until... and if they did, it was all as a joke. Now, they're actually talking about it in a positive, realistic light. Great for them. What movies came out this year? Did we have any good movies that were worth a damn? The only one that comes to my mind, because it was, seriously, I believe the only movie I went and saw in theaters was Deadpool and Wolverine. And it wouldn't shock me to find out if that's the number one box office movie. Let's see. So these are your top box office movies of 2024. Oh, interesting. This makes sense. Inside Out 2 was actually the number one movie this year, which I have not seen yet, but definitely will, because Disney just does great with all their animated stuff. And then behind, I was correct, Deadpool and Wolverine is number 2. The only two movies, by the way, this year to gross over $1 billion. Or is that? Yeah, over $1 billion. Going down the list, we have Despicable Me 4, Moana 2, Dune Part 2, Wicked, Godzilla vs. Kong New Empire, Kung Fu Panda 4, Venom, The Last Dance, and topping off the top 10, Beetlejuice. So those are some of the big movies that came out this year. We had a few others, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Gladiator 2, Twisters, Alien Romulus. So there was quite a few movies that came out. But you know what? None of them worth a damn. Because God forbid we can make a good movie these days. It don't happen. It doesn't happen. Don't even get me started on television shows. I'm not even going to go there because there was really nothing. I'm sure there was a few good ones, but nothing that I give a shit about. We had plenty of viral sensations this year. The year 2024 gave us the Chick-fil-A girl. It gave us the Costco guys. And it gave us Hawk Tuah. Are we in hell? Is this not hell? Has the rapture already happened and we are just currently living in hell? Because God damn it all, if those are the viral sensations this year, it's hell on earth. This is not the entertainment that we are looking for. Can't get a damn good movie, can't get good television, and this is what's becoming viral now? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, I almost forgot UFC. We did have UFC 300 this year. Great. That's the only entertainment that's worth a damn in this country anymore is sports. Sports are the only thing that we can constantly rely on and is constantly entertaining. UFC 300, that was epic. One of the greatest cards of all time. We also saw UFC Noche at the Sphere, epic event. This probably was one of the greatest years in UFC history. Just so many great events. So many great cards. We saw the return of John Jones. Plenty of retirements. Stipe Miocic. Carla Esparza retired. There was a lot. There was a lot of good retirements. And, Demetrius Johnson as well. So shout out to UFC. F1. I got to not see it, but I saw some of the F1 stuff in Vegas. That was kind of cool. What else? There's got to be we had the murder of the healthcare CEO. These are all recent events, really. The drones flying above excuse me. New Jersey. Of course, the continuing issues overseas in Ukraine and in the Middle East. Love that for everybody. It's been a weird year. Let's be honest. It's been a little bit of a weird year. For me personally, it's been a really weird year. But I think everybody's feeling it. Everybody's kind of feeling like this was a bit of an odd year. But nonetheless, 2025 is right around the corner. A time of change where we can... It's a refresh. You know what I mean? It's a refresh. It's almost like a little bit of a do-over in a way. And then you get to, March and April, and you're like, and all the things that you thought you were going to change kind of go out the window. But one thing I personally need to work on, at least this upcoming year, for this show, are putting out more clips. I was looking at the clips this year, and there just aren't nearly as many as previous years. I started off hot doing the clips, and then slowly they just became less and less and very periodical. I wasn't putting out as many clips. But I did put out some. So, for our very first award, let's go ahead and let me just say this, I am vowing to try and do better and put out more clips in this upcoming year. That is a goal of mine. But let's go ahead and award this year's Clip of the Year. And our nominees are Adam, Will, and Jim. That's when me and Mac, Jared, and Pow all were debating what the best Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey, and Will Ferrell movies were. My clip on Caitlin Clark. Exit row clip. Irish Mexican clip. Joey Chestnut clip. Peanut, R.I.P. Peanut the Squirrel clip. And taxes. All these clips you can find throughout the episodes in the year, but there can only be one winner. And the 2024 Lag Award for Clip of the Year goes to Irish Mexican. Let's take a look at it right now. Mexican culture is awesome. And to be completely honest with you, it reminds me so much of Irish culture. Now, obviously, there's pretty significant differences. Let me just tell you the comparisons first. They love to dance. They love music. They love to party. This is why the only two party holidays of the year that is like strictly about drinking and getting fucked up and having a great time are St. Patrick's Day and Cinco de Mayo. Because those two cultures know how to party. Mexican people will party to the break of dawn. They will party all night long. They can put down beer just like the Irish people. They know how to drink. The Mexican people have tequila, and the Irish people have the whiskey. Now, what's funny is, I prefer tequila. And then, the family, Irish families and Mexican families, they have very strong connections to their family. They typically have very large families. And then also, you add the religious aspect where, there's Spanish Catholic and then there's Irish Catholic. So there's a religious connector too. But there is one area that Mexican culture absolutely blows Ireland culture out of the water. And it's the food. The food, it's 10 times better. There are so many Mexican dishes that will blow my balls off. Mexican food might be tied with my all-time favorite cuisine just next to Italian food. It never really dawned on me the similarities. No, Mexican culture is amazing. It reminds me so much of my own culture. That happened right after I went to Portland, which was a great time. I love that clip because it tells me, it shows. It was a moment that I had some realization. It was such a sweet moment to have been a part of and to experience. So I love that clip because it was something memorable from this year for me. And it gave me something to think about and something to look back on, you know what I mean? And traveling, dude, I went all over the place this year. Portland twice, both for weddings. Those were awesome. Denver twice. Went and saw Primus, Pussifer, and A Perfect Circle at Red Rocks with my cousin Gabriel. That was incredible. One of the greatest concerts I've ever seen. That happened this year. Also went to Denver for Creed. Went and saw Creed with my brother and my friend Pal and my brother's fiance. Went to Vegas twice. Went to Vegas with my mom. That was her Christmas present last year. That we did that in March, I believe. And then we also went to Vegas for the Broncos-Raiders game. So lots of traveling. Now, granted, I didn't go to too many different places. Again, twice to Portland, twice to Vegas, twice to Denver. But they were awesome. Those were great trips. The Broncos game was the only sport. No, when I was in Denver, I did go to an Avalanche game. So those are the two big sporting events I went to. It was an Avalanche playoff game and a Broncos just regular season game. That's cool. That was fun. I'll count the F1 a little bit. I didn't attend F1. But that was still something that I got to see and kind of be there for. Excuse me. Music for the band this year. What else? We got to play at the pub station twice. Huge step forward for the band. Took the back half of this last year off pretty much. We haven't played a show since August, and we're looking to switch that up and get back playing some more shows. Hoping that 2025 will produce a brand new Cutthroat album. So be on the lookout for that, maybe. Nothing's guaranteed yet, so I'm not making any big announcements here. But that's the goal. It was still a good year for the band, you know. It might not have been the biggest year, I would say, but it was still a great year. Like I said, 2 pub station shows, got to open for a touring band. That's something that we haven't done before. So we still had a few big moments in the band. That was cool. Other than that, trying to think of some other personal things that have happened for me this past year. I can say this. I said it already. It was kind of a weird year. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain that. I had some pretty big ups and downs. I had some moments of personal setbacks, I guess you could say, where I just haven't felt myself this year. I really found myself going to the bars a lot more. Which the reason for that isn't because I'm a drunk and I just need to drink. I have like this unsatiated appetite for alcohol because I get bored and lonely. And the way I cope with that is to go to the bar and surround myself with people and try and socialize. And while I socialize, alcohol happens to be involved. So that was a bit of a realization for me, is that I found myself becoming more lonely and not being able to be at home with myself as much. I do enjoy my alone time, but it's been a pretty hard realization. And with that, you know, you go out enough times, you drink enough beer, and you eat enough bar food, you're not going to feel your best. You're going to feel, you know, I've gained an immense amount of weight. Not immense, but, you know, a noticeable amount of weight. Dude, I've literally been sitting here in this suit, and I'm so afraid that these buttons are going to pop at any moment. That's how tight this thing is. I have certainly put on some lbs. So I haven't felt the greatest physically. This is what I mean when I say look in the mirror and see the things that you don't like about what's going on in your life and make those changes. These are things that need to change for me in this upcoming year. But it's important to just realize those things. I found in this year, sometimes kindness can bite you a little bit. Being overly kind, which is both, I find to be both a good thing about myself and can tend to be a bad thing about myself. This year, I lent out my hand a couple of times, and it bit me in the ass. So that was another realization. These are all more negative things that have happened, I guess, this past year for me. But there's been plenty of positive as well. I mean, here on the show, if you're a follower, you noticed there's been more missed weeks this year than ever before. And most of those weren't because I couldn't. They're because I didn't want to. Because I just didn't feel like it. Because I just wasn't in that mindset. I wasn't feeling motivated. And I don't like that. I want to get back to feeling motivated. So that is a change that I look to make in this upcoming year. But that's a little bit of my personal year. Much like the election. It's been a bit of a roller coaster. A lot of ups and downs. Got to do a lot of really incredible things. I got to meet a lot of new people. I've made new friends. I have, Sturgis. I forgot Sturgis. Yeah, I went to Sturgis with my friend Brad. That was a great time too. I got to do experiences with people that I've never gotten to do before. I got to see bands I've never seen before. Like that experience in Red Rocks with my cousin Gabriel. I'll never forget it. One of the greatest. Creed with my brother. Vegas with my mom. Going to Portland and seeing people I haven't seen in a long time. Getting to watch several of my friends get married and big moments in their lives. Experience those with them. There's been great moments. Great experiences with the band. Getting to play in front of the biggest crowd we ever have played in front of. Great feeling. Great moments. So, 2024 was definitely not a bad year. It was just a little bit of an up and down year, Couple things I gotta work on mentally, physically, just to get back to feeling better. But that doesn't take away from the fact that there's been great moments this year. So, I can look upon 2024 and say it was still a good year. Now, that was my personal year. Let's go ahead and award a couple of my personal favorite awards. Awards that are just personal to me. It's a little bit of a pat on my back just because these are things that I did to help make this show a little bit more entertaining for you guys. First up, we're going to do Bit of the Year. And by Bit of the Year, it's kind of just like it was a specific thing we did during a certain episode at certain times that was just kind of out of the ordinary. It wasn't just talking about events. It was a bit. So the nominees, let me get my little trophy here. The nominees for Bit of the Year go to Smash It Bracket. That was where I did a bracket of celebrities I would fuck. So, blind taste test. Specifically, the coffee blind taste test that I did with my mom and my sister. We played Most Likely To with my mom. Most Likely To between me and my brother Landon. We watched a montage of carnival ride accidents. That was harrowing. And the King of the Scream tournament, which was a battle royal tournament style that we did on the Halloween special with all the horror icons. And the winner of the 2024 LAG Award for Bit of the Year goes to Smash It Bracket. I would show you the clip of Smash It Bracket, but it's very long. So, go back and look at it yourself. The episode was called Smash It Bracket, so you can go find that episode and rewatch it if you'd like. I know you do. The next award we're going to give out is for Title of the Year. This, to be honest with you, if I want to pull the curtain back just a little bit and give you a little inside info here on the show, one of my favorite things to do is come up with titles for this for the episodes. I try to be kind of punny. I try to make it witty. I try to make it eye-catching, something that people are going to want to watch. You know what I mean? So, it's always a fun task for me to come up with a fun title. So, the nominees for Title of the Year go to episode 184, Forgive Me, Father, for I Have Sinned. Episode 189, Toyota Thong is On. Episode 209, The Pale Whale. Episode 218, When You Are With Me, I'm Creed. Episode 221, Schlong Shorman. And episode 224, Tombstone Cold. And the LAG Award for Title of the Year goes to Forgive Me, Father, for I Have Sinned, which was, oddly enough, the first episode of 2024. I believe that, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the first episode of the year after the 2023 LAG Awards. So we're going all the way back a full year. It was a brilliant title, I gotta say. I loved it. That was another thing that I could add to things I started doing this year was zinning. Also not necessarily a net positive, but it happened. Can't deny it. Something that every award show does, and I think it's important, is an in memoriam. So we're going to take a somber moment here and look back at those that we've lost this past year. Now, I can say personally, I have not lost anybody close to me this year. Fortunately. Very fortunate for that. Every year that passes that I don't lose a friend or a family member is a great one. So, for any of you out there, I want to take a moment and just say, if you have lost a loved one, a friend, someone close to you, my condolences with you, and their memories will live on. My thoughts are with you. For those losses, because I've experienced plenty of loss. So I just want to say, think about the ones that you've lost this past year, and keep them in your heart and keep them in your memory. Keep their memory alive. It's important to remember those who you lost. But on the let's see, 2020. I wish I would have looked at. All right. Let's see. Okay. I'm going through a list here. And I'm pretty much just going to do ones that I know. Quincy Jones. I don't know any of these. Oh, Liam Payne. That was the One Direction kid that fell off the balcony. That was very sad. John Amos. R.I.P. to John Amos. Pete Rose. I remember that. Pete Rose. Hopefully a future Hall of Famer, Pete Rose. Dikembe Mutombo. R.I.P., man. Chris Christopherson. Big one. Great musician. And he was Whistler in Blade. Maggie Smith. From Harry Potter. James Earl Jones. One of the greatest voices in cinema. Bob Newhart. That's Papa Elf. Papa Elf, man. Richard Simmons. That happened this year. Wow. Richard Simmons, yeah. Robert Town. He looked familiar. And you know what sucks about some of these is you don't get all of them. That's just a certain amount of them. Like I'm sure there's others that I'm gonna miss on this list. So just know I'm going off of a list that I'm reading here, and I'm not meaning to leave anybody off. I'm just making note of a few notable names. You know what I mean? Donald Sutherland, Willie Mays, Bill Walton. I didn't know Bill Walton died. What the heck? Wow, Bill Walton. O.J. Simpson. That's right. Wow. Alexei Navalny. Toby Keith. Man. Toby Keith, R.I.P., dude. Carl Weathers. Big one, man. Big one. Carl Weathers. And that's all I got here for on this list. So, like I said, I'm sure there are many others who were not on that specific list that I just looked up. I literally looked up a random list on Google. So, my apologies to anybody. And you know what? I know once I'm done recording, I'm going to think about certain ones that I should have remembered. You know what I mean? But those were the ones that were on that specific list. So, condolences to all families that have lost. And we keep the memory of everyone, not just the celebrities, but everyone that we lose in our lives. Cheers. Let's lighten the mood a little bit and hand out a couple more awards. Let's hand out a very special award, specifically for Special of the Year. Last year I decided I was going to make a separate category for the Special of the Year because they're always such fun episodes that they kind of deserve a category on their own. You know what I mean? I have a hard time putting... They always end up in like Episode of the Year. And it's almost unfair because they are, in fact, a special. So, we made a separate category for Special of the Year. And the nominees are Episode 207, Uncle Dak Wants You, 4th of July special. Episode 224, Tombstone Cold, which was our Halloween special. Episode 225, the election special with my friend Eric Wolf. We're going to add that one this year because it's the most special because it's only going to happen every 4 years. And we had an election special. Very fun. And finally, episode 231, Dreaming of a White Horse Christmas, which was our Christmas special just last week. And the award for Special of the Year goes to Dreaming of a White Horse Christmas. Call it recency bias. I don't care. I said it at the end of that episode. I thought that was the best Christmas special I've ever done. And we've done 5 of them. Those specials are hard because I'm always overthinking how to do them. I mean, you could count the LAG Awards as a special, but I'm not going to award the award show. They're hard. Because, like, the Halloween special, the 4th of July special, I'm always thinking of, like, how do I keep this relevant? How do I keep it on point, on topic of Christmas, Halloween, what have you? That one rolled so smoothly, and it was just, I felt good about it. So, of course, it's gotta be the Christmas special. And if you don't believe me, just go back to the last episode and watch it and you tell me. Leave a comment, let me know if I'm wrong. By the way, actually, leave a comment And you tell me what you think should have been the award winners for each category. Why not? Let me know what you think. Maybe you have a differing opinion. But it's my show, so I get to pick the winners. Let's go ahead and give out another award. One of my favorites. Because this was a first time category last year. And I think because I made it a category, it pushed me to do this more in this year on the show. And I love it. And I can only imagine that next year is going to be just as good. And that is Costume of the Year. Now, rather than just list off all the costumes, I think it'd be more fun if you got to look back at all the costumes that I've worn in this past year. So let's go ahead and do that. I think it's only right that we have a bit of an outfit change here, don't you think? And so with that, I think you know what this means.
Bag alert, major bag alert, major bag alert, major bag alert.
Looky, I'm a Wookiee. Ooh, yeah! I am Uncle Dak. And Uncle Dak wants you to crack open a cold one. Give me an oh, hell yeah! Am I a little drunk in the middle of this episode? Yeah. But you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna have to put on our tinfoil hats. Double chunk chocolate Wookiee! Brainwaves are covered. I've soared with the eagles and I've slithered with the snakes and I've been everywhere in between, but never to the top. Well, I am the cream of the crop, yeah. And the cream always rises to the top. If you don't know, you should know. My name is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Rest in peace. We be eating some dogs.
If I look like I know what a JPEG is, I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog.
God damn, I love a McChicken sandwich. You shall eat ass. Hawk tour and spit on that thing. Because it is the golden birthday, and I am the golden boy. You are along for the ride. You are the ride or dies. You listen to the shitty jokes. You listen to the long, drawn-out stories. You're the ride or dies, and we ride or die into the sunset, guys. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. Oh, man. Isn't that so much fun? It's fun to dress up. It's fun to do things a little differently every now and again. And we did it a lot this year, as you saw. But the winner of the 2024 LAG Award for Costume of the Year goes to Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, could it have been anything else, really? It's one of my favorite costumes I've ever done, ever, for Halloween. The costume's so nice, I did it twice. And I finally got to do it here on the show. So, for that reason alone, it's got to be the winner. And there it is. So, costume of the year, you had it. Getting toward the end here. Let's, the year is over. This episode's almost over. This episode's almost over? Oh, hang on. I felt that coming a while ago. That sneeze has been building up for a minute. My apologies. Now, this episode is coming to an end. This year is coming to an end. But we look forward to the upcoming year, to things to come. So far, got a couple trips planned. Going to be going to Denver for both these trips were made due to my Christmas presents that I gave this year. I got my cousin Aaron tickets to Metallica and Pantera in Denver. We'll be going to that. And then I also got my sister a trip to Nashville. So I will be going back to Nashville, which I'm very excited about. Couple of trips. Obviously, we're going to have a new president, which I'm hoping for everything to be great. Of course, you don't want it to be bad. Hoping everything is good and everybody, I'm just hoping for the best. As I think most people are. And so we'll see the transition on that side of things with the new president. What else to come? I mean, it's all a mystery, really. And here's the real thing. Here's the real thought. We don't know what this year brings. But there are things that we can control. There's things that we can do to make it's all in your hands, really. The future it's up to you. What the future becomes is a lot. I mean, there's certain things obviously that we can't control, right? So just focus on the things that you can control. As I said in the beginning, change the things that you want to change and just boost the things that are going well. Continue on with the things that are going well, the things that you've been doing positively and enjoy doing. Make a New Year's resolution. I say it every year. I don't think I've stuck to mine at all the last couple of years. And I think you already know mine. It's just getting back to feeling good. Whatever that means, to be honest. It's just getting back to feeling like myself. To being confident, to having energy, to being motivated. That's what I'm trying to do this next year. That's all I want. Whether that's physically, mentally, whatever it takes. Just trying to get back to feeling good. But for you, come up with something that you want to do, something that you want to change, or something that you want to do better. Be better at. It's always good to have something to strive for, to have a goal in mind. So I highly recommend that you do. And I try and say it every year. Just because if I can't motivate myself, I might as well try and motivate you. You know what I mean? So I don't stand as a great example. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. I wish I could, but I don't. So my apologies. I will strive to do better and strive to be that example. To hold up my end of the bargain. But the future's really in your hands. You control a lot of how your future goes. You have way more control than you think. So, just keep that in mind. Keep in mind that if there's things you don't like in your life, you can change them. If there's things you want to do, if there's places you want to go, you can do it. It's all up to you. And nothing changes if nothing changes. So, be the change. Let's go ahead and give out our last awards here for the 2024 LAG Awards. And we'll seal the deal on it. The last two awards are always the big ones. First off, we have Episode of the Year. Episode of the Year is the best, what I believe to be the best personal episode, which is the solo episodes. Saw a lot of solo episodes this year. So there's a lot to sift through. But the nominees for Episode of the Year are Number 191, Believe to Achieve. Episode 194, The Age of Fuck It. Episode 198, Back from Sabbatical. Episode 199, Life Being Beautiful. Episode 210, Tinfoil Hat. Episode 211, Golden Boy. Episode 219, Did He Do It? And episode 228, Looky, I'm a Wookie. 2024 Lag Award for Episode of the Year goes to Life Being Beautiful. The reason I chose that to be the winner is because that was one of the more... It was an episode where I felt like I had a bit of a realization. It was like so episode 198, which was Back from Sabbatical, which was a close second, if I'm being honest. That was after I had just gotten done with a really like rough time in my life. I had taken 2 weeks off of the show because things were not going great. I came back. I spilled. I just aired all of the stuff out, and then the next week was a bit of a breath of fresh air. The Life Being Beautiful episode was more of a... It was an uplifting episode. It felt like a relief, and like I was kind of having a more of a good time. You know, things were washing over. And then the following week was episode 200 with my mom and my brother and my sister. So it all felt so meaningful, and it felt like everything was happening for a reason. I don't really remember a lot of what happens in that episode, so go back and watch it. But I just remember the feeling I had during that episode was a very like rejuvenated kind of a way. And I think that speaks a lot to why it should be episode of the year, because it was a high moment. You know what I mean? Just talking about life being beautiful. All the good things in life, the things that make life beautiful. And that's what this show is really about, you know? That's the main thing on this show. And finally, the biggest award of the year, the top award that I give out on this show. Guest of the Year. Now, I will be the first to admit, did not have as many guests this year as previous years. But I will say this, we had a lot of like doubles episodes where there was 2 people on at the same time, 3 people on at the same time. We had a lot of those. So we had a good number of people, just not a lot of guest episodes. So there was we had plenty of people. A lot of people for the first time. A lot of people made their first time appearances here on the show. And I just want to say thank you to all the people that take time out of their day, that come on this show and tell their stories and be funny with me. They promote their art or their whatever they're doing. Thank you to all of them. Every single one of them means a lot to me, just for coming on here and creating some entertainment, having conversations, whether they are meaningful conversations or just shooting the shit. Sometimes we're having fun, and sometimes we're being real serious and having some heart-to-heart conversations. All of them mean so much to me. And that's why this is the number one award, is because it's just the most meaningful to me. And so, the nominees for Guest of the Year are The Stupor Bowl Party, which is Mac Anderson, Jared Ewan, and Pal Williamson. My family. The episode with my mom, my brother, and my sister. Sarah Stewart and Andrew Barlow. Rob Parker and Tony Killebrew. Ken Patterson. Eric Wolf, who was on the show twice this year. And Aaron Craig and Mike Craig. All of these are great episodes. I'm telling you. Go back and watch all of those episodes. They're all worth listening to. Every one of them, the reason they're nominated are because they stood out. And they were just fun episodes. They were either fun episodes, important episodes, or or and another thing that comes into play with a lot of these is views, right? As many views as happen. But the winner, there can only be one. The winner of the 2024 LAG Award for Guest of the Year goes to the Super Bowl Party. So congratulations to Mac, Jared, and Pal. First ever Super Bowl Party we ever did here on the show. Hopefully we're going to do it again. It's my goal to do that every year to the point where that might become another holiday special. So, congratulations to them. Thank you all. Thank you to all the guests through this year. And I'm hoping to have a nice amount of guests this upcoming year. I'm sure you'll see plenty of the same and hopefully a lot of new. And we're going to end this episode the same way I've ended every LAG Awards episode, with the purpose, the message behind this podcast, the ultimate driving force that this podcast stands for, which is our positive motivational message. The reason behind this show, of course, is to entertain. It's to make you smile, it's to make you laugh, it's to make you think. But really, it's to motivate you, to inspire you, to give you something to make your life a little bit better. And hopefully I've been able to do that at some point or another. Make you think, make you want to change something in your life, want to better yourself in some way. Hopefully, and if there's anything else, I hope I just was able to make you laugh. To put a smile on your face. And all my guests this year have given very good positive messages and great motivation. So, to close us out, here are all the positive and motivational messages from the year 2024. Thank you all so much. We'll see you in the year 2025.
Sometimes the journey is long. Sometimes the winds are foul. Sometimes the sea is running high. Sometimes the ship doesn't go. But if you keep sailing, eventually you get there.
What I think a lot of people miss is that you can, whatever you want to do or whatever, there's always a path. You just gotta make it. You just gotta do your thing. You have to trust yourself. It has to be self-trust. You just gotta do what you want. I'd rather fail and be like, hey, I at least tried. Everything in life is your choice.
Being nice is important, I think. Like, just try. Or find ways to make yourself happy. If you're trying to force being happy, then there's obviously something wrong.
Take stock. Be thankful in any moment you can. Every time you smile, anytime you take a nice deep breath on a beautiful 60-degree day, anytime you sit with your boys and have a beer and you just have a good laugh about something inappropriate. Just really try and rest in that moment and know that there's something good happening. Because there's a lot of those moments, and a lot of us pass those by and focus on the negative and let us remember those. Just focus on something positive if you can, because they're real and they're very deep and they mean something.
You gotta be able to trust your own way of moving through life. and you can't take on too much from any one of these people you get advice from, whether it's like some guru or some author or some friend. You've got to be able to believe in your own personality and your own way, you know, that God or whatever intended for you to be.
Find new hobbies. Break out of your comfort zone, you know? Like, do something, even if it's something that you've always wanted to do and you just don't have the passion for it right now, it might bloom. And if somebody invites you to do something that you've never been interested before in, take a swing at it. Just try new things.
I would say just really enjoy your family, you know, spend as much time with them as you can. Make time for them, you know. Everybody has excuses to not get together, but I feel like it's really important to be around your family as much as you can.
Spend your time with your kids, because one day you're changing their diapers and the next you're on a podcast 14 years later and they're explaining life to you.
Yeah. I don't know, just don't give up, and I guess, yeah, just don't give up basically, because it will always get better sooner or later.
Know what it is that you guys are trying to do. Set yourself a mission statement. Know your North Star, but know the steps to get there. Those things that you need to work on. Keep strategizing, aligning on things, and making sure you all share in whatever vision you have for this entity of a band or whatever it might be that you're doing.
Like how we grew up. I mean, we didn't have a lot, but I think that it gave a work ethic and a mindset like we want to create a life for ourselves where we're never going to have to worry about anything. No matter what situation you come from or how you're raised or whatever, it's really just how you choose to take on life and how you choose to look at it.
Yeah.
And I think
you should always be thankful. You know, no matter how bad it gets, you know, you still got whatever to keep going. That's my thing.
It's funny you say that, because just recently I decided to do some inventory of myself. I decided to actually literally count my blessings, and it turns out I have a buttload that I take for granted, that I don't even realize. So staying humble and being grateful for all the things you have and not pissed about the things you don't have makes it a world of difference in your life. And that instead of chasing that dollar, you know, you chase your happiness.
I guess no matter what corner you take in your life, please be secure in every sense of your well-being, your life, your financial ways. Know that there could be hardships in front of you. Think of what could happen, what could be in the future. Just be secure in the and be smart about your circumstances, finances, and everything in life.
Don't be a dick. Unless you're not a fucking asshole, I think we can all get along. Just in general, out and about in the world. Just, you don't have to be a dick to your other person. Don't be a dick out there.
We're all assholes sometimes, but we don't mean to be. You know what? Love and peace, dude. Just have fun and understand where everyone else is coming from.
Life's about love. Just love everyone.
We're all missing a whole bunch of people. But we got each other still. Hey, we ain't pushing daisies, and we can still smile.
Hurt is not a bad thing. If you miss somebody, if you hurt because somebody is gone, it means you truly loved them. Life is measured in moments, not minutes. Rather than taking account of your life based on how much time you spent on this or that, how much time you spent working, how much time you spent just doing the mundane things of life. Look at it of all the good memories and all the great moments that you've made with your family, with your friends, all the experiences, all the adventures you've been on, all those special big moments. And yes, they don't calculate in the amount of time that we walk this earth. They are very, sometimes small portions of that time, but they mean more. Those are the things you're going to remember looking back on life. Sometimes in life, you find yourself in a situation or a scenario where you just feel like you're not catching a break. You just keep getting punched in the face by life. You just gotta roll with the punches sometimes. Rather than let life beat you down, rather than submit to the constant disappointment, the constant failure, rather than submit to that and just accept it and feel sorry for yourself or feel like it's never gonna get better, just keep on rolling with the punches. And eventually, you'll catch that second wind and you can start punching back. Push on through. Don't lay down. Don't lay down for that 10 count. Roll with the punches. Yeah, they can hurt sometimes. But if you keep moving forward, if you keep that energy up and you keep that chin up, it'll all work out in the end. Life can get stressful. And then you just stop. You let it pass. You take a breath. And you move forward. And life's beautiful again. You just stop and take that breath. And you'd be surprised what life will throw at you. And don't forget, life's a garden. Life's a garden. Life's a garden. Dig it.